So now that you're familiar with what we're going to be creating, I'm going to go ahead and set up WordPress and create a brand new fresh site. If you want to follow along with me, you can review the video tutorials from prior lessons and set up your WordPress website. You're going to want to do a brand new fresh install for this particular project. Once WordPress has been installed, I'll rejoin you. Alright, I've gone ahead and installed WordPress, and I'm going to log in to the admin section of WordPress. This is a fresh install, so if I go to the front end of my site, it just looks like this. We're going to begin by populating this website with a variety of content so that we can ultimately make it look like this site right here. Now, as I explained to you before, we're going to be using WooCommerce to set up our e-commerce store. WooCommerce is a robust plugin that's been created for WordPress. It allows you to create a fully functioning online store, and there are all sorts of additional add-ons and extensions that you can add to enhance your online store. WooCommerce is well documented and there's tons of information. I've gone to WooCommerce.com, and this is where you can get more information about WooCommerce. We don't actually need to do anything on the website, but I just did want to make you aware of their website so that you could do additional research if you wanted to find out other things. It is worth mentioning that WooCommerce, the plugin itself, allows you to add your e-commerce website. It does work with themes, however, and WooCommerce makes its own set of themes that function with the WooCommerce plugin. There are third-party themes that also work specifically with the WooCommerce plugin, and you can really make any theme work with the WooCommerce plugin, but I do recommend, especially when you're starting out, that you use a dedicated WooCommerce theme, just because it's going to be a little bit easier for you to integrate your store into a theme that's already e-commerce ready. We'll look at how both of these things function in just a moment. As you can see on the WooCommerce website, they have a variety of themes. Their base theme, Storefront, is actually free, but they do have a variety of paid themes, which vary in price from starting at about $39 and going up from there. You can also get access for all of their themes for $399. If you want a theme that is a little bit more enhanced than the basic theme, you could do some research and choose one of these paid themes. For our purposes in this class, we're going to be using the Storefront theme, which is a free theme, and it is a great theme, and you can extend it and even modify it from its base look. We'll be doing that in our course. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new plugin to WordPress, but prior to doing that, you can see that I am being warned that I have 7 updates. Remember that it's always a good idea to keep your version of WordPress updated, and I'm going to update all of my plugins. And finally, I'm going to update all of my themes. You can see on the updates page, I no longer have the red circle, and it indicates that all my plugins and themes are up to date. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the plugin section of WordPress. From my plugins page, I'm going to click the Add New button, and I'm going to search for the plugin that I want. We already know that we want WooCommerce. It is worth mentioning that you're going to want to write WooCommerce, one word. Don't put a space in there. If you put a space in there, you're going to end up going to an area that doesn't have the WooCommerce plugin. If you write it as one word, however, you will find WooCommerce as the very first plugin. You want to make sure that you see the WooCommerce logo, which looks like this, before you install, so that you're ensured that you're adding the appropriate plugin. I'll go ahead and install this now. I'm going to activate the plugin, and once I've done so, it's going to take me to the WooCommerce overview and setup page. So it lets me know that it's welcoming to WooCommerce. It's also letting me know that this is the quick setup wizard, and it can help me configure the basic settings. This is optional. You don't have to do this right now, but it is helpful to set these things up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click Let's Go. If for whatever reason you didn't want to set this up initially, you can see that it lets you know that you can go and find the setup wizard from the WordPress dashboard, and you can set it up later if you needed to. The page setup lets me know that WooCommerce needs some essential additional pages. It's going to let me know that it will automatically create these pages. A shop page, this is the page that's going to display my products. A cart page, this is the page where customers are going to go to view their cart and check out. The checkout page, this is where the customers are going to go to pay for their items. And the My Account page, registered customers can manage their account and view past orders. These are all things that are going to help WooCommerce to function appropriately. It also lets you know that once these pages have been created, you can manage them from your admin section. We're going to go ahead and click Continue. It's also going to ask me some information about where my store is set up. I'm going to go ahead and specify that my store is set up in the United States in California. The currency I want to use is US dollars. You can see that there's a ton of other choices here though if you're making a site in another country. It lets me specify the units of weight, so I'm going to be using pounds, and it lets me know the units of measurement for product dimensions. I'll leave this at inches since these are standard settings for how we would view this information in the United States. The next section that I get to has to do with shipping and tax setup. So it lets me know that if I'm going to be charging sales tax or shipping physical goods to our customers, we can enable these. This is an option that can be changed later. Remember that none of these settings are set in stone. If you want to make changes to any of these things at a later time, you certainly can. I will go ahead and specify that I'm going to be shipping products and that I am going to be charging sales tax. Once I've clicked yes, that I'm going to be charging sales tax, I have some other choices to make. It wants to know how I'm going to enter products. Prices inclusive of tax, that's in case you want to include tax. Normally in the United States, our prices do not include tax, so I'm going to enter my prices exclusive of tax. It also is going to automatically import the tax rates for California. I'll leave these settings as the defaults and I'll click Continue. If you did, however, find this information was not correct, you can go to the tax settings screens and customize any of these things. The next option is going to let me define how I'm going to be receiving payments. PayPal and Stripe, which we'll be talking about later in this course, are simple ways that you can include credit cards in your site. There are some other options that are available to you here as well. For now, we're going to skip these settings and we're going to modify these later on in our course. So I'll just click skip this step at this point. It lets me know that my store is now ready. It also lets me know that if you want to make WooCommerce even more awesome, WooCommerce wants to collect data from you. You can decide if you want to allow this or not. Click your choice and proceed. Additionally, on this page, you can see that it's going to walk you through the next steps. You can create your first product, and it also has links to learn more. WooCommerce is well documented, so I would encourage you to explore on your own some of the additional information and training material that's available from WooCommerce. But for now, let's get started working on our website. Instead of creating my first product, I'm going to return to the WordPress dashboard. Here on the WordPress dashboard, you can see that I have a WooCommerce tab and it has a bunch of customizations. This was automatically added when we installed the plugin. Just so you can see what's going on, if I go to the front end of my site and refresh, my site doesn't really look any different so far. And that's because WooCommerce has added some content, but I haven't incorporated any of that content into my website, and because I'm using the default theme right now, this particular theme does not support any of the default settings from WooCommerce. Back in the dashboard, I'm going to quickly take you to the pages section. You can see that I do have some new pages that have been created. I don't have access to these from the front end of my website, and again, that's because this theme is not set up to automatically include these things. However, if I did want to alter the menu and include these things, I could go into the menu section and I could add these pages. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly let you see what the shop page looks like by default. You can see that these pages don't look very exciting and they don't look very different, and that's because A, I don't have any content, and also while this theme would allow me to incorporate the WooCommerce plugin, it doesn't really offer great support for the WooCommerce plugin. In addition to the WooCommerce menu item, you also have a products menu item. This is where you can actually add products and then manage the products and control how they look and feel. We'll be using these menus quite a bit as we go through the process of setting up our store.